Okay, in this video, we're going to go through Watersnake. It's a easy web challenge, but it highlights the SnakeYaml vulnerability. It's put on by Hack the Box Business Capture the Flag, which happened over the weekend. And if you click it, I've downloaded the files and I'm running it locally. So we'll do it locally first before we do it remote. So these are the files. It's provided Gradle and Haven. And right away, something's being flagged in the POM file that SnakeYaml has a known security vulnerability. I don't know if I can pull up something, so it's not fully set up, but I can't see the vulnerability report. But we'll take a look at that in a bit once we go through the source code. Here, pretty simple application. So it's a Spring Boot. So for a Spring Boot application, we'll check the controllers. Here is, so it's like it's a website with some simple REST controllers. So the index page basically returns the index, which is probably resources, here. Then there's a stats, which will return the value from source sensor.read sensor, which is a get water level object, which we'll review later. So we just call the read sensor function on it, passing it what looks to be some kind of command. Then we have an update, which accepts a config parameter as a string, turns it into a byte array, and initiates YAML, which is SnakeYaml up here, and then loads that YAML into an object. And then I think just for the purposes of this challenge, it just basically maps the object and prints out the key values and just returns a string. So pretty simple. Looks like there's also an about page. But how do you get to the about page? Probably not possible. Or it's probably through some JavaScript. So if let's go navigate to it. Pull up this website. So this just kind of exploring some water level stuff. Dashboard is this firm update. It's the update and then the about page. Okay, so we have this upware update section, and what I will do is I'll turn intercept on, and we can put a YAML here. So if I hit submit, it's probably going to be empty. Yeah, it's empty. And so an empty file results in a 500 error. An error occurred. So before we get into what's happening here, let's just take a look at the get water level because I skipped that. So get water level object has a function read from sensor. This read from sensor takes a string, creates a process builder that splits the string on white spaces, and it basically gets an input, reads the input as an output line for reader. It will append a new line for every line that it reads from the reader in the input string. Okay. So then pass it to the output. Okay. So then we have exit code process wait for, which I guess waits for the process. Where does the process get kicked off? Process builder. Oh, here. So the process builder start. So must get kicked off. Let's see what this does. I don't have. I do have documentation on it. So wait for. Looks like it just runs. It's just waiting for an exit code from the process. I wonder if this probably starts it actually. So the process starts up here based off the value, and then any output lines are appended to output, which gets returned here as a string. Okay. If their exit code is not 0, command execution failed, and it's interrupted if it gets interrupted. there's an initiate sensor, which takes in the value that essentially just passes it to read value, and you can initiate the water level to initiate the sensor to get the value. So read sensor does return output, but so read sensor is here in the stats. So if we go to our history and we see stats, we should see some information. So tank 1, tank 2, tank 3, tank 4. So this is probably a result of this water sensor binary, which is there, and passing stats to it. So if we can somehow call read sensor, initiate sensor, we can execute some arbitrary commands on this server. So what we're going to do is, let's just version 2.3.4, pass a valid YAML, see what happens. And yeah, so that worked. So we'll just take that and we'll pass it to our repeater. So this essentially is what we'll want to play around with. Now we know SnakeYaml. Let's just get up vulnerability. Oh, is there? 1.3. Let's just see what it tells us. Just a thread to fix it. Resolving. So it's performing some deserialization from YAML, and mechanics. This explains what it does, how it's working. Let's go down to exploiting. So I guess the double bang is a special symbol in YAML, which can, I think, be used to typecast stuff. And so SnakeYaml is using it to typecast something as an object. So let's just confirm what's happening there. See if this is legit. For the documentation. So loading YAML, this is what we're calling, and accepts an input string. Load them all. We're not using them at all. So SnakeYaml allows you to construct a Java object of any type. So that's what we're going to want to take advantage of. And just find an example. So this is a single bang. I wonder if that's a typo. Let's go to the test case. Yeah, it's probably a typo. So here we have different ways to instantiate an object. So you just have the full path, the object, and I guess you can do new line first name as kind of pass a map parameters, or you can pass them as an array. So why don't we see see if this works. Okay, so we'll pass them as an array. See if this works. Let's take a look at what code is happening. What do we need to do? So we need to instantiate an object. And controller, nothing gets returned from update. So this needs to be done. So we need so it needs to be done blind. So we'll initiate get water level with a value to, which should essentially just pass a command, and as long as the white space is respected, it should be okay. So what is this? Get water level is, where is it? Com mean Watersnake. So we'll do something like Watersnake get water level, I believe. Get water level. And we can pass it our string. Let's create a webhook just to see what we get. What? Just create a webhook to see if we can't get a ping back from the server. So that, say girl, and let's see if this goes through. Config queued for firmware update, and not seeing anything on. So why are we not seeing anything? Okay, we're not seeing anything here. It could be because this might be a comment. So let's remove that and try it again. That time took a little bit longer, and we got a ping back. So we are getting code execution. And let me just remember what. So the whole point of this exercise is to read a file on on the server. We know where the file is, and I think I can use curl to post stuff. So let's see. We'll just find the curl command. Post files using curl. So it's the at data that we want. Let's see if this works. Curl the at flag.txt. There we go. So we got our flag for testing. I'll just spawn our Docker container, and we'll go visit it. I need to go to the website. Is it burp thing? No. I'm able to connect. Let's see. Is it HTML? Why is it not loading? Stop it. Oh, you know why? It probably needs. I gotta probably wait for the Spring app to actually load. So now I turned it off and turned it back on again. Oh, I gotta copy the right port. Okay, there we go. Got our water levels. We're gonna do a firmware update version. What do we want to do? Let's just put it all here. Update. Let's check out our. We do have a message, and we got a nice small flag that will submit. And that was SnakeYaml's vulnerability in Watersnake.